Hi everyone, thanks for joining today's webinar about publishing in WordApp. My name is Jorn, I'm a co-founder of WordApp.com and I'm running you through this webinar today. We have quite a lot of things we're covering. I'll be switching forward between my presentation and WordApp account a bit so that I can show you how everything works. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat or contact me afterwards through the chat on the website and I'll be glad to help you on your way. First thing we want to go through is the publisher role. As a publisher, you are the final person of every single text that takes a look at it before everyone gets paid. So a writer already has done their research and written the text from scratch. It has already gone through a plagiarism scan to make sure that the text is not copied from the internet. An editor has checked it, which is a high-level freelancer who knows language quality is very good, and you are there to give the final approval. This can either be you as a company representative who has ordered a text. It can also be an elite WordApper, one of our freelancers who we know has extremely good language quality and is specially trained to do publishing in WordApp as well. When you approve a text as a publisher, it triggers the payment to both the writer and the editor. So no text is approved in WordApp and no person is paid, and you are not being charged either until you approve the text. That's why it's extremely important that this role is there and that you look at every single text as well. It also gives you a good chance to improve instructions. Very often, especially on bigger projects, we see that instructions change over the course of a project. Because you get more insight in what it is that you exactly want. You see better examples of what you need. And by improving the instructions, you also get better text moving forward. What is extremely important with the publisher role is that it is really what WordApp is all about. Our workflow is about improving your productivity. If you have extremely good writers in your team, by making them publishers, you can make them more productive. While a writer can write maybe one text to an hour based on the length, based on the amount of research needs to be done, an editor will already have to spend way less because they don't have to do the research anymore or write from scratch. And as a publisher, the only thing you really need to do is read through the text and see if there's any things that you want to improve moving forward. So you are more productive. It's 100% scalable because we can put as many writers as we want on there. As a publisher, and this can be multiple people on a project, it can be multiple publishers, you always have full control. You check every single text, so you don't pay any text that you don't approve of. If you think a text is completely not what you want and it doesn't follow the instructions, you simply reset it and another writer can pick it up from scratch. So how do we publish in a task? How do we publish a task in WordApp? I've written down a couple of the steps here, but I think it's easier if I switch to my WordApp account so that I can show you how it works exactly in there. So I have my task feed open here. The task feed is where all of the text that you need to work on, that you can work on, will show up. Publisher tasks will always be on the top of the task feed and they're marked as publisher. So you can open individual tasks and you can only open one task at the same time so that we actually make sure you check it. And the text is opened in the preview mode. In the preview mode, I can see the meta title, the descriptions, and I can read through the entire text, making sure everything is good here. When I am completely happy with the text, I can click approve. When I approve, that's it. The text is approved. Everything is fine. Writer, editor get paid. We charge your balance, and you can move on to the next task. You also have the option to use the I love it button. The I love it button, same thing is approved. The only thing is you're giving the system a signal telling system, hey, the writer and editor who worked on this task, I would like them to do more tasks on my project because I'm really, really happy with this text. So we give them bonus points that don't cost you anything extra. And we also include the text as a sample text on the project so that other writers can see which kinds of text that you actually want to be written. If there's anything you're not happy with in the text, there's two things you can do. One, you can head over to edit, and in edit, you can make any changes yourself. As you know, of course, already, there's different rules in every text, but as a publisher, you can override these rules. So if I don't want this keyword to be mentioned here at all, I can just rewrite the text without the keyword, something writers and editors cannot do. Writers and editors always have to follow the rules, word count, focus keywords, sub-keywords, things like that. But as a publisher, you can change the text, and even if the rules are not followed, you can still approve it. Or worst case, if you think something is really off, you can return it to the editor by clicking the return button, selecting a reason, and sending it back with a message. What's important to understand here is that when you return the task, it goes to one single editor. It's not the writer, it's not all of the editors on the project, because there can be multiple, a lot of them sometimes. So you're talking to one individual person. So it can be that if you have 20 texts, you might actually be sending the same feedback to different people. So this is for individual people only. If you want to talk to all of them at once, what you need to do is update the instructions. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute as well. If for whatever reason there is something where you feel you cannot work things out between you and the editor, there is also an option to flag the task by clicking the drop down and selecting flag. When you do that, you can send it to a project manager in WordApp, and the project manager can take a look at it and also talk to the editors separately to figure out what needs to be happening and what is going on. So this is how you publish a task in WordApp. Back to the presentation. As I said already, giving feedback, we can return it to individual editors, and we can also make changes ourselves. When we make changes ourselves in the text, all of that is stored, and the writer and editor who worked on the task, they will be able to see it in their task history. But the best thing to do is, if you rewrite the text based on small changes, that you also update the instructions to make sure that everyone will be able to see it and can improve the text with new text coming in. So back to WordUp again, where I can show you how this works. Whoops. So when I have a text open here, there's a couple of different places where there are instructions. First, we have the template instructions here on the left. Template instructions, they are visible on all the tasks that have this specific template. I can simply select edit, make any changes I want, click update. I can refer to external URLs as I want. I can do list items, things like that. I can use bold to underline and make things a bit clearer to read. And any updates that I make here will be visible on all the other tasks that use this template. Same thing for the template instructions. Again, every template item has instructions, and you can learn more about this in the How to Build a Template course that we also offer. And here I can also make changes in instructions, update them, and it will be visible for all the people on the project. There's one other type of instructions, and those are what we call the domain instructions. So these are related not to the template, not to the project, but they're related to the website that you're writing for. So here you can give information about the unique selling points, the different personas on the website, or just what the site really is about, so that the writer has a bit of a clearer idea of what it is that they're actually writing about here. One other option that you have is to use negative keywords. And negative keywords work the same as normal keywords, except that we don't want them in the text. So if people write about, for example, free delivery, and it's something that you don't offer, instead of writing it in the text, you can add it as a negative keyword to the text. And when you add it as a negative keyword, they will not be able to use it anymore at all, anywhere in the text for that particular website. So again, it's website related. So for every website you have, you would have to do the same thing, but this will ensure that nobody will use those keywords on your site anymore. Back to the presentation. Task history I was supposed to show. So the task history is visible for all writers, editors, and people on a project. And I can see exactly, and the writer and the editor themselves as well, what changes were made on the text. So you see, this is a pretty short text. 2% of the changes were made. There's a couple of typos here that were deleted, and one sentence was rewritten a bit. So everyone will be able to see exactly what changes are made in the text, so that they can are aware of that and can make changes in the future if needed. What else do we have to cover today? Updating instructions. Like I said, there is 3 different types of instructions and the negative keywords. We went through this already. One other thing you can do, as I said, I mean, there can be multiple writers, multiple editors, and there can also be multiple publishers on a project. So if you want to invite one of your colleagues to a project, I wrote down the steps here of what it is that we exactly need to do. But I can also show you in WordApp so that you have an example of how you can do it. First, go to the company settings and go to the team page. In there, you can invite different people to your team. Once they accept the invitation, make sure you make them an admin if you want to give them control over your projects and show all the projects to them. And then head over to the project that you want them to be a publisher on. And I have a ton of projects, so mine is always a little bit slower. Let's see if I have a project here. Go to the participants tab, type their name or email, and if they are in your team in your business account, then it will show up in the drop-down, and select them as publisher on the project so that they can see the publishing task for you as well. Those are the steps to invite people. Then exporting tasks. Of course, when you have approved the task, you also want to be able to access them and do with them whatever it is that you want to do with them. There's 3 options for you to get tasks out of WordApp. The first one is from the project itself, where you can either export all the tasks in bulk or take individual tasks. If it is a WordPress site you're working with and you have the WordPress plugin installed, it will automatically send the task directly to the WordPress site using all the functions that are set up. And if you want to learn a bit more about that, I would suggest you check our course on maintaining your blog, which talks a lot about the WordPress settings and things like that that you need to set everything up. And the last option is using Zapier, which is a workflow automation tool where you can connect WordApp to a lot of different apps like Dropbox or Google Sheets. We have an entire course on that on our site, so check the video or join one of the live courses there so that you can learn more about that as well. So today I want to show you how to take it from the project directly. So if I am in one of our projects, for example, the project here, I go to the content tab. Here at the very top, I have the export buttons. So I can export all my approved tasks. So that's approved tasks until now. I can do that anytime in the project and download them either as CSV, XML, text, or Markdown. And then I just get a complete download of all the tasks that have been approved until then. Or I can go into individual tasks, go to the details tab, and here I can see the text itself, or I can also take the HTML coding of the text if I want to export it. As I said, the other options are WordPress or Zapier, and we have courses on how to do that separately. So if you're interested in that, please do check those out at wordapp.com/courses. That's it for today, really. As I said, there's plenty other courses available for you if you want to learn more about how to use WordApp, including how to create templates, project management, using Zapier, using the WordPress plugin, and all kinds of things like that. I hope this is helpful. I hope you learned something new today and that your questions are answered. If not, please do reach out through the chat on the site and I will help you from there. Thanks a lot for joining today and hope to see you again in a new course soon. Bye-bye.